Everyone, Mr. Science Smasher back with another Crossout video. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to complete the rear for... Where is it? I always lose it. There it is. For Dusk. Now this car has got a front part. It's got the bonnet, it's got the front wheel arches, it's got the front bumper, but it has no rear structure parts. So today I'm going to be building quite a funky car with this cab. So let's not waste any time. If I can remember how to do the frames, should be one of these 8x4s. Then you get your Dusk and you place it so the rear is hanging off by one pin. So it should look like this, with this sloped angular part coasting downwards into the frame, and with one pin of the frame overlapping from underneath the front. This was chosen by one of my close friends who I know in real life. Next off, this is very simple. You're just going to get the phantom fenders and the phantom bumper. Where is it? So I always lose these parts. There we go, the wheel. So you're going to need to construct the phantom just like that, how it is meant to be. Now this is a very, very nice part set. I think it's based off of a Cadillac DeVille. Not too sure. But for me, that seems like what it is the closest to. Although those headlights kind of give me a different idea, maybe. But I'm pretty sure this is some sort of Cadillac originally. Now that your Phantom is complete, you're going to go back up to your frames. And you're going to get some 1x4s, rotate them so they're vertical, and place them on either side of the front of the 8x4 frame. Here you can put in your Maxwell radar. Just like so, so it fits inside of the phantom fenders just like that. Now starting with the rear, you're going to go all the way down to your scavenger parts. Where are they? There they are. And you get the Battle Walker stands. These parts are fairly new. They're kind of new. They're kind of not new. They've been out for a while. But for me, they're still kind of new because I didn't play the season they came out in. And then you're going to place both of each side type on the rear of your Dusk, just above the wheel arches, like so. And then once you've done that, you're going to go up to your engineer's part to get some small struts and rotate them so they are facing forwards and down, and then place them both on the underside of your walker stands. Actually, it seems I've made a mistake with the frames. You actually are going to need to have the 8x4 frame completely underneath your Dusk cab, as well as just moving these backwards. Or you could use... I just had an idea. I just remembered that they've been adding frames. You can use the 1x5 frames instead of the 1x4 frames, so they reach the end of the Maxwell. Very nice. Now once you've gotten your struts underneath here and fixed your frames, sorry for the mix-up by the way, you're going to go down to the fire starters parts and get your flaming rakes and put that underneath the walker stands and behind the struts, so it looks like this. Now if I remember correctly, this is how you should do this next part. I think it was this. Yes, it was. So next you're going to get the narrow fuselage slopes. Rotate them so they're both facing backwards and both place them on the insides of the walker stands, so you have a 2-pin wide space between them. Here you'll place a regular fuselage slope in between them. This is because there aren't 4 narrow ones, and because the 2 little air shafts here look quite cool. This is what your car should look like from the side and the underside. Here you can place a car jack, and in there let's place some holograms real quick. I'm going to use the Marmok, and I'm going to place that so it's facing the rear. So once you've put your hologram in, which you can do or you couldn't do, it's up to you, it's not really necessary. After you've done that though, you can get your car jack and just place that in there, just like so. And to finish up this rear slot, we need to go down to, where is it? What parts did I use last time? Ooh, I don't actually think that it is the right spot for the hologram. No, it's not. Okay, so don't put a hologram there. You're going to get a medium strut and place that in the slot just like so. Or even better, go down to your Dawn's Children's and get another control module. Place that so it's upside down, and that the flat side is facing outwards with this line at the bottom and these 2 nibs or knobs at the top for a little bit of extra detail. Now to start with the tail lights, go down all the way to the bottom of the decorations and get the round brake lights. Place them just like so. And then we can get, once that's done, we can get the prototype 001 and place that in there like that. Hang on, let's see what this looks like. That does look quite cool. So if you want, you can get some more small round brake lights, place them in the center like that. That does look quite snazzy in my opinion. Now for the front here, you're going to need, obviously you're going to need some sort of modifications. I think the catch might fit. It kind of fits, but not too well. Let's see if we can do something better. How about the Marcy poster? Does that fit? No, that does not fit. Well, the stranglehold can fit because, and it will look quite cool because of the frames, how they are positioned. It looks like these fists coming out from underneath the grille. A very nice bumper. In fact, I'm going to keep the stranglehold on just like that. Now for the wheels, you know what I'm about to use. You've seen it in the thumbnail. You've seen it from the rest of my videos. If you have seen those, I'm going to be using the low clearance, of course. So you're obviously going to put steering ones in the front and non-steering in the rear. Or you could just use full steering if that is what you have. So far, this is what your car should look like. Obviously, it's not quite complete yet. But just to continue it, I'm going to go down to the decoration items and get some wheel arches. We need the fender extenders for this. And just place those just on top of every single wheel. Like so. Then you're going to go up to your engineer pieces. Get some running boards, place that under the doors of the cabin, and you see there's a 2-pin space here. What you're going to need to do next is you're going to go down back to your decoration items and you're going to get some compact exhausts, place them in the slots on either side of the car just like that. And you can even fit a hologram in here. Now that we actually have a safe hologram slot, let's put one in. I'm going to put in a Primal Terror. Now to finish off this build, you're going to need one more piece to go on the underside of the rear. So you're going to go up to your hot rod parts, get the hot rod grill. This is one of my favorites to use as an underside piece. And you're just going to place it underneath the car jack, so the top lip is underneath the flaming rakes and the bottom of the hot rod grill is touching the rear of the 8x4 frame. Now unfortunately there is no weld points on top of the rear here, so we can't add any fishing rods or stuff like that. So for now your car is done. Now to of course... Oh wait, no, your car is not done. We haven't added the wing mirrors. I always forget the wing mirrors. One of the most important details on a regular art build, such as this and the ones I've done before. Wing mirrors. You could even cover those little holes in front of the wing mirrors. Some round brake lights as a sort of indicator. Just like so. I'm pretty sure that is what they would have been intended for on the original car. Of course, we cannot see what the original car looked like because none of the original cars are shown in Crossout's files. So now your dusk build is complete if you've followed every step just as I have shown you. Even though there have been some mishaps, which I am sorry for. If you followed them all correctly and all of my corrections correctly, then your car should look like this. I'm very glad the devs added these battle walkers and the fuselage slopes, because I remember trying to build a rear for the dust cabin. Before those parts, it was extremely tricky. Let's see what it looks like without that. I'm going to keep that. And even with the tail lights, it still looks amazing because they link up quite well. Now that the build is complete, we can start painting, because of course no build is ever complete without paint. What paint shall I use? I'm going to go with Twilight Metallic. I don't think I've used this paint already. Oh wait, yes I have. I used it on the very first build. Actually, instead of Twilight Metallic, I'm going to go with Blue Gloss, because that's a paint I definitely haven't used. And you're just going to paint all of these visible structure parts on the tops and the sides, including these struts in here, and the fender extenders, because why the hell not? Now that those are done, you're going to get your aluminium paint. I'm going to paint the wheels and the wing mirrors, and then you're going to get a chrome paint, either preferably regular chrome, but neon gloss might work just as well. You're going to paint the running boards, the stranglehold, the compact exhausts, the hot rod grill, actually not the hot rod grill, and the flaming rakes and the round brake lights, as well as the prototype 001. And I forgot to paint the control module by mistake. You also need to paint that too. And for the hot rod grill, you're going to put a gladiator's skin, as well as put the gladiator skin on the car jack, just in case any red peeks out, as well as on the max valve to cover up with that brown. So now your car should look like this if you painted everything correctly. I'm also going to go ahead and paint the round brake lights up on either side too, just to make things nice and even, as I had painted the round brake lights on the rear. So now your car should look like this. This is looking very, very, very snazzy in my opinion. Especially this rear. I'm very happy with how I did this rear. Now for stickering. Everyone's favourite part. My favourite part. I love stickering. I'm going to give this car a nice vinyl roof. Let's see what black looks like. That does look quite cool. Let's see what white looks like. White also looks cool. I'm going to go with a white roof. Actually, no. I'm going to go with a black roof. I'm going to go with a black roof. Give it a nice vinyl, I guess, immersion. I'm going to place a black square on top, a black corner triangle on the side here. I'm going to rotate it like so. This is how you do it? Okay. I think this is how you do it. No. Maybe a black triangle is the one. This looks like the right one. It's not covering that part up, is it? Yeah, it was. So this will be a bit tricky to figure out without covering up any of the other parts. But you're going to place these black triangles on either side as symmetrically as you can without covering up any other structure parts. Which is going to be a little bit tricky to do. Did I cover up any on there? No. I did on this side. And you can see it's fading to blue here, so we're going to get a very small black black square sticker, and just cover up that fading with a small black square sticker. And you've got to make sure this blue part here isn't completely covered up, because that is technically the rear window, just with metal sheets coating it. So you've got to make sure that's not covered up by your vinyl. I guess fake vinyl stickering. And if you want some extra smooth finish, you could also layer another black square sticker on top of the one on the roof. Now for some badges, I'm going to, because this car is blue, I'm going to use, where is it? The Child of the Sky sticker, because it looks like some nice blue wings. I'm going to place it on the front here, just like that. As well as on the rear, above the prototype license plate on the fuselage slope, just in the center. Just like that. Now for some unit coding, I guess, or model numbering. I'm going to use 001. Very good for model numbering. And I'm going to place it on these small little rectangular slots on each side of the front of the dusk cabin. And also for a model name, I'm also going to use the Gladiator sticker in its smallest size underneath the left tail light. I wish there was one that said Phantom, because this is technically the Phantom car, but Gladiator works just as well in this situation. Can I put a one on the front? I can. Oh, I'm going to have to move the strangle hold for this. It's going to be covered up by rust and dirt a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. It's there. And I'm also going to place some gladiators on the rear corners of the dust cab underneath the vinyl roof. I'm going to place it, if you see this welded rectangle here, I'm going to place this one. I'm going to place them in the bottom corners. Just going to put this on the bottom corner as well, just like so. And for a little bit of personalization, I'm going to get a jack sticker. I'm going to put it on the narrow fuselage slope, the one on the right, and I'm just going to put it there, just like that. And there you have it, guys. Your Phantom car should be complete if you followed every step as you have that I've done. Maybe you painted it differently, maybe you stickered it differently. But structure part wise, if you've completely followed everything as I have done, then your Phantom should look like this. This is what it looks like in game, and this is one of the few cars that you can zoom in by one, and it does cover it up a little bit on the rear because it's quite a long vehicle. And once you're actually driving at a decent speed, maybe you're looking at it from an angle, whoops, flipped over there, it won't be covered up by the camera as much. Maybe you even have your camera set to a lower angle. But I am definitely loving these twin tail lights on the rear. Definitely a very nice decision that I made there. As well as the prototype license plate. Again, thank you devs so much for adding that. It would be nice to have the Phantom's headlights to be functioning. Fortunately, as you can see here by my activating of the rover mirrors, that the headlights do not function. There are so many parts with headlights and so many cabs with headlights that just exist, but they don't function, which is very, very, very sad. So devs, if you would add that in the future, in a future update, that would make my days. Even the indicators here, although they do activate with the brake lights, they do still look quite nice. Even if you time your handbrake pressing while at a standstill, I guess you can mimic the hazards lights flashing, like so. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to DUBBY for continuing to partner with me. Use code PROTOBEE in their shop to save 10% off your order and to help out my channel so I can continue doing videos such as this one and ones I will do in the future and have done in the past, as well as keeping me fed and happy. And if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, because it's free and you can undo it at any time, and that would definitely make me very, very, very happy. And of course, if you didn't like this video or you don't like my videos in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear some feedback. I've had some feedback before from some of you guys, and honestly, it's made me very happy to see what you guys have to say about my videos. I know there is one guy that frequently comments. He has the Carapace cab in his profile picture. He's very nice. Thank you to him specifically for your kind support. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.